Hello and welcome to a Rebels Radio interview. I'm joined by Slough Town Joint Manager Neil Baker, following today's defeat at home to Chesham United. Hi Neil, how do you feel?
Yeah, obviously a little bit down, but you know,
Mood like the weather, eh?
Mood like the weather, absolutely.
Okay, you had your hands tied a little bit around the team that you were able to send out for tonight's game. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise, you know, that I don't think the side, to be honest, you know, Darryl wasn't 100% over his illness, you know, so unfortunately we were unable to start him. So yeah, it sort of picked itself. The only change we made was Sean in for Tom Moran. Tom's done excellent, to be fair, but we wanted to get Sean some minutes, you know, especially over a bank holiday weekend. Sean's a top defender, and you know, we didn't think it was you know, any harm in putting him back in. Tom will come back into the side next weekend because Guy's unavailable. So we just thought it was a right thing to do to get Sean some minutes as well. So you know, that was nothing to do with the defeat. You know, it's just one of those things. And
in terms of how you lined up, it was a little bit fluid. What formation would you say you were playing, and what positions? It was all quite fluid, people moving around.
Yeah, well, we're as a 4-4-2. However, you know, Alex and George sort of, you know, moved over a couple of times, changed sides and whatever else. I mean, you know, we're going in there today without I think just over 90 odd goals that we, you know, from last season. You know, you're missing Eddie Smith, Johnny Dyer, Scott Harris and Warren Harris. It's over 90 goals from last year, and now that will hurt anyone. And you know, we had to play Dobber up front. You know, that's not his natural position. I thought he actually done quite well, and I thought Adam Cornell worked quite hard as well. But you know, as a forward, you're often judged on chances, and Adam will probably hold his hand up, you know, because he could have got 1 or 2 goals today, and he'll be disappointed with that. But you know, that's where we are.
What were the conditions like out there? Were the players happy? Obviously, conditions played a big part in the game on Saturday away at Poulton. Today, it was slick. I know it was raining quite a lot through the rain, one heavy burst, but how was the pitch?
Oh, I think the pitch held up brilliant. I thought the pitch was lovely. You know, there's no complaints about the pitch at all. You know, it was tough at times. You know, because you know you pass the ball and it did fizz off and whatever else. But no, I don't think there was any excuse. I thought we played some good football at times. You know, that's what we'd asked them to do, you know, because obviously with Alex Brown and Darren Purse, you know, anything down their throats, they were probably going to gobble up. To be fair, I actually thought the first 20 minutes, I thought Adam actually did really well against them and won quite a bit in the air, as did Dobbo. So, but we'd asked them to pass, and, you know, they tried, but listen, you know, we're missing some, you know, very strong players for us today, you know, and you're stepping up a level and you're playing a side who okay, they haven't had a greatest start, but they've had a very, very tough start, and we knew it'd be tough today, and so it proved. Well, it proved that you need to take your chances. I mean, very fine margins today.
Yeah,
know.
There were some critical moments in the game, yeah. and at this level, as you say, those critical moments can define games. What would you say were the critical moments, particularly in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is for me, it's a poor goal to give away. You know, we hadn't really, other than a couple of corners and a couple of balls, I felt that we'd caused them more problems than they'd caused us. But you know, balls sort of come off. I think it might have come off Reese's head, and in reality, for me, you know, I feel that Jake should be almost sweeping in conditions like that, and being positive and coming for the ball. And unfortunately, what happened was he sort of half came, and you know, it enabled, you know, their centre forward just to sort of almost just lift it over him. Whereas if he makes the decision to come, then he probably gets it. Or if he makes the decision to stay at home, then, you know, Guy probably deals with it. So we were a bit frustrated with that because I felt it was a poor goal to give away.
Yeah, and it was a sucker punch just before half time. I guess it changed a little bit of what you and John said at half time.
Well, it didn't. I mean, we were relatively happy with, you know, how we'd passed the ball, and you know, we'd gotten a few times, and you know, fizzed a few balls into their areas and caused them a few problems. We're not going to get everything our own way at this level, and you know, I think everyone has to be aware of that, you know, because if they think we're going to come and pass teams like Chesham off the pitch week in, week out, they got another thing coming. You know, we're at a good level, and we're missing, as I said, you know, and it is an excuse because we're missing some serious players for us, you know, and that will hurt anyone. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those things really. It was a poor time to give a goal away. But we just said, look, you know, go out second half and give it a go. And to be fair, I thought we come out second half and I thought we were firmly on top. And you know, Adams had 2 great chances. You know, the header, which he's just got to get a little bit more on, and that's obviously just gone wide of the post. And the chance where Dobbo's put a great ball in, Klergy's jacksed it, and you know, I'd have banked on Adam to score that. You know, it's a gimme goal, and you know, by not taking that, you know, they've ended up going up the other end, getting a second, taking the wind out of our sails a little bit, and then we've gone and given a sloppy third away.
Yeah, the 2 goals in 2 minutes really hurt you, and that was kind of game over at that point.
Yeah, absolutely, it was game over. You know, I mean, you know, obviously we've come back recently from, you know, a couple of goals in a few games, but you know, 3-0, you know, with what we had missing, the game was done, and we therefore used it to get, you know, Luke Knight on the pitch, get him some minutes, to try and help with his fitness, and same with Jake really, you know. So I think we both, myself and John, had accepted that the game had gone.
Yeah, it all went a little bit flat out after that, and it just seemed that, you know, the heads were a little bit down. Are you worried about confidence in the camp now?
No, I don't think so. You know, it's, as I said, you know, I think the lads are looking around and know what we had missing, and they are confident lads. So it's just one of those things. You know, we're going to get that. I mean, that's our biggest defeat as managers at Slough Town today. You know, no side beat us by 3 clear goals last year. I tell a lie. I think Wickham did. Wickham was the only game. You know, and that's against.
But in the league.
You know, yeah. I mean, that's the first time we've lost by 3 clear goals in a league. So, you know, it's disappointing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and obviously it's not that often that you actually don't score.
No.
I think it's all this calendar year you've scored every game.
Yeah. I think the last game we didn't score in was against Kettering on the 28th of December. You know, that's 8-9 months ago. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it is disappointing. It's disappointing, but it happens in football, and it is about fine lines, you know, and the fine lines where they took their chances, we didn't.
Yeah, it's a learning to take away.
Yeah.
Was there any other further injury news out of the game?
No real injuries today. You know, I don't think we can afford any more injuries, if I'm 100% honest. So on that side, that's a positive.
And what's the plans for the rest of the week in terms of getting the team together?
Yeah, we'll train Thursday. You know, we'll go up the Polish club, and you know, we'll have a session. You know, we'll probably do some finishing. But you know, listen, you know, it's, you know, on another day, I think if Adam had scored one of those chances, and by the way, I'm not putting any blame at Adam's feet, because I actually thought he worked really hard, and considering he hasn't done a lot, I thought he'd done really well. So, but you know, goals change games, and I think if we'd scored at 1-0, I think we might have actually even gone on to win the game.
Yeah. Looking ahead then to the weekend, do you know in terms of any of the other injuries in and around the squad, or any other player availability that you need to make the fans aware of?
No. No, I mean, obviously Guy's away, unfortunately, so he's missing Saturday's game. So Tom
Will
Moran,
Johnny Dyer be back?
I don't think Johnny will be fit. No, we're sort of hoping he'll be back for the following weekend against Weymouth. So yeah, I don't think we'd be expecting anyone back fit. So we sort of got to go with what we've got at the moment.
And moving on to Histon at the weekend, a home game comes quite quickly. That's the benefit of having lots of games in lots of days. Get back on it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've obviously had a poor result today, and I know that I think they're actually a young full-time side as well. So, you know, listen, they'll work hard. They'll come here. They'll be wanting to put today's result, you know, right, because they got obviously beaten by their, you know, by their tenants, Cambridge City. So yeah, I mean, we'll go into it like we would any other game, and you know, we'll have to work hard. You know, obviously, you know, we should have Luke Knight to choose from as well. So that might be a decision that we make as well.
Okay, well, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I know it's not always easy to talk after a defeat. You're not feeling necessarily like you want to face up, but
no, I mean, you know, I'm more than happy to. I'm not. I don't think we're in a position like. Whereas if we'd been beaten like this last year, I think, you know, we'd have both gone home and been absolutely distraught. And yeah, we're disappointed, but there are lots of positives out of the game as well. There's still positives from the game, so we've got to take that. And you know, for vast periods of that game, I thought we were actually a better side and passed the ball better than Chesham, but they were just more clinical on the day.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your words. Look forward to catching up with either you and John later in the week before the Histon game, and we'll speak to you soon.
Lovely. Cheers, John.
Cheers.